There's only one more thing that we have to do, and that is the post-CyTalk. Okay, so I will be pausing frequently. So if you want to watch the video yourself, do it. Was a handsome young man? I have no idea. Looks better than me though, that's for sure. So yeah, let's go through it.
Well, it's my story, and I want to talk about it.
Okay, I didn't catch it correctly. Wait, there it is. So earlier when I said you might see little melon Easter eggs here and there, this is what I mean. I did not put this here, and I was not aware of this until after I released the video, and then I rewatched it to make sure everything is fine. Not that I mind her doing this at all, by the way. I think it's great if she can like do quips like this here and there. But I will say, it is true. I did not hit the 150 follower goal here. Actually, I don't think Ren did either. I think Haru and Aspen were the only ones who actually hit this their separate follower goal. Ren and I, essentially we felt left out because Aspen and Haru, I think, hit their follower goals within like a week or something, like something super quick. And Ren and I were stuck at our second goal, so we only had our busts, not our head. And so Ren was the first to crack. He was just like, screw it. And then he just sent his face. And then I was like, oh man, I feel left out. So then I did mine. So that was kind of that's the background behind this little quip here, because I did in fact not hit my final follower goal. I just felt left out because most everyone else did. And I felt like I needed to showcase something else as well.
The Laku Nation VTuber project, or just...
Actually, another thing I want to point out here, this banner, by the way, the Laku Nation, like the banner you see on the screen, this isn't even the official LCN banner. This is the banner they gave to us to use on our Twitter accounts. The actual LCN like logo, I couldn't get access to because it was only used in the Discord servers and as profile pictures for the LCN's like accounts, like Twitter accounts and stuff. So I could not get access to them because all that stuff is deleted. So I pretty much had to settle with the only other thing I had that essentially can act as that, which is this. But I would like to say on stream, this is not the actual official banner. The official banner looked different. A lot of triangles, if I recall correctly. Actually, something I do want to know. This tweet doesn't exist anymore either. I had to use the Wayback Machine to find this tweet. And I thought maybe if I could get this picture, like the LCN Project Edition like picture, I figured, oh, if I can get that, maybe I could also get the official banners and stuff from LCN through any of their tweets. But it just wasn't there. Like you can even see for the profile picture, it's just not there. So unfortunately, I cannot find any of that stuff.
The few supporters that were actually actively following LCN were largely on the Thai side, making it difficult to tell how much focus was going to be put on the English-speaking side.
So to like put this into perspective, right? LCN had two different Twitter accounts. They had an English-speaking one and they had a Thai-speaking one. The Thai-speaking Twitter account had so many more followers. It was crazy. I don't know. I can't give you an exact number because I don't want to over-exaggerate or under-exaggerate it. But I do remember the English, like the tweet that I showed you earlier, the one that announced the edition, had maybe like 10 retweets, like 6 or 7 likes. Or the Thai one had like 60 retweets, maybe 3-digit likes. I don't want to like throw that ballpark too much, but it was significantly higher. I didn't know this when I first auditioned for the group, so I was like, oh, I'm just gonna do the audition. Just like, oh frick, like this is not gonna do well because I think they're mostly gonna do Thai streamers.
It didn't take me long to realize that the person I was speaking to not only did not speak English super well.
I don't give my manager enough credit here. I wanted to go back and re-record this bit, but I didn't feel like a huge need to. My manager, or specifically the one that I spoke to the most, her English was not bad. It wasn't good, don't get me wrong. She was not fluent or native or anything, but she could like talk in like very like pretty decent conversations and sentences and stuff.
After speaking with this person, I realized that the Laku Nation VTuber project was basically being created and held together with cardboard, hopes, and dreams.
Okay, so this whole bit, by the way, was like the one that I struggled with the most to like condense, because oh my god, there is so much I have to say about LCN in terms of the Discord and everything that went into it. Okay, I briefly mentioned it here and I didn't want to dwell on it too much here, but so as I mentioned earlier, 5 days after the deadline of the LCN edition, right, I completely forgot about it by then because I editioned pretty early on. So they sent me this email, right? They're just like, you made it, good job. And I was just like, wait, because I remember doing other like other VTuber editions, and they're always just like, oh yeah, no, this is just the first stage. There's also an interview stage and like other stages like between those two. And I'm like, okay, I guess that makes sense. But no, we were just like immediately accepted. I talked to Ren about this. I talked to Ren and Haru, and both of them pretty much had the exact same experience with this. I don't know about Aspen because I haven't talked to him as much in terms of this. We were just immediately accepted. And as I mentioned earlier, the Discord server was clearly unfinished. They were literally like building it as we were talking to the managers, and communication was such a pain, dude. You have to understand, right? I'm not a super extroverted person. I think it's possible to meet me on stream or like to meet me among other friends and to assume that I'm somewhat extroverted to a degree, because I can talk a lot. I can like, keep conversations going. I can bring up conversations and stuff, but I have to be really comfortable. Generally speaking, I'm really quiet, right? But in this Discord group, nobody was talking, dude. Absolutely no one was talking. It was freaking crazy. The only people that were talking were Aspen and our main manager. So there are 3 managers. I did not talk at all to actually, that's not true. Our main manager, Help, was the one that I talked to the most. The second manager, I'll nickname K. She spoke even less English than Help. And the third manager, never spoke to, never like ever interacted with them. The only interactions I saw in the Discord were between Aspen and Help, and it was all in Thai, so I couldn't understand anything. So I literally had to drag people into Discord calls to try and understand what's going on. The first call I had with Help, like she was the one who asked me for that, and I was grateful for it, but it took us like quite some time to set that up. After that, I realized nobody knew each other except for Ren and Aspen, because those two talked at some point before I started trying to gather people. So I literally was just trying so hard to get everybody in one Discord call so we can talk about coordinating crap, so we can like, share stuff, because Ren and I didn't know what we were doing. I talked to Ren pretty early on because he was the only one willing at the time to like actually talk to me. Well, Aspen too, actually, but Aspen's sleep schedule was screwed. You were the manager. I was the mom. I wasn't even the manager. Our manager, Help, and Kay, they're younger than I was. And so Ren and I were literally the oldest people in the Discord server. And Ren is not... He's really good at communicating, don't get me wrong. The problem with Ren is he never initiates. Text him a message, you're like, hey, you want to do something? He'll just be like, he'll respond as fast as he can. Yeah, sure. What do you want to do? Right? But he'll never initiate conversations. Almost never. The only time he'll initiate a conversation is when a deadline is showing up. So he's just like, hey, we're doing this, right? Like he double checks stuff. Very mature, very college student-esque, I was pretty much the person that was like getting things going. I was the one. It feels weird saying this, by the way, because I feel like I'm stroking my own ego to a certain degree, but it's just what it is. I was a person that was in the Discord call, like messaging, like in the general chat, like, hey, does this time work? Does this time work? How's this? Like, hey, Ren, I think this overlay or screen transition works with your theme. Hey, Haru, I was thinking about this. What do you think? To put this into perspective, out of all the LCN members, I was probably the closest to all the other members, like individually. Ren was the closest probably to me. Haru was definitely the closest to me compared to the other 3. Aspen wasn't super close to any of us because the language barrier was a slight issue. I also spoke to him like way more than the other 2 did. It was actually insane how problematic the communication was, and I want to talk about that so badly in this video, but we realized that we probably couldn't fit it all. But yeah, I was essentially the mom of the group. it did feel good to be relied on to a certain degree. Haru talked to me a lot in our Discord DMs, like a ton. I think from my perspective, the closest member that I was Haru, surprisingly. I think I did technically talk to Ren the most, but the thing is, all of our conversations were very business-like, you know? We're both like exchanging ideas for what we wanted to do and stuff, how things were gonna turn out. Haru and I had some of the dumbest conversations in Discord with that man, and it was great. We posted a couple of screenshots on Twitter and that was pretty great. He made art for you at the beginning, right? Yeah, he did. But then I commissioned art from him, and then he took my money and then disappeared. So maybe it was a scam all along. No, I'm kidding. Even if it was, I don't mind, because I still had good memories with him. It was crazy how LCN was, because I went in thinking, oh boy, like here are like 3 like other people that I can like do collabs with and like, you know, hang out and do stuff without having to actually like, reach out to people that I don't know, and I have a manager to help me with stuff. But no, I was the mom. I literally signed in to like babysit a bunch of people, which was, you know, I mean, okay, babysitting is a little too mean. From the perspective of like how competent were everyone in terms of VTubing, everyone was way more competent than I was. I was the one that had to play catch up. But from the perspective like communication and like, you know, real life crap, yeah, no, yeah, that's what I was doing behind the scenes. All right, I thought there's more I can talk about, but I'll leave it there because there's more stuff that I need to mention.
And in return, we get our own models and rigging.
I do feel the need to point this out because Ren pointed it out to me when I showed him this video earlier. I said that they would provide us models and rigging. Technically, they only provided us with models and told us to, you know, fund rigging ourselves. But the reason why I say models and rigging is because Help did end up rigging both Aspen's and Haru's models later on. And she offered to do it for myself as well. Me knowing she was freaking dying at the time, like not actually, but she was like really busy with like exams and stuff. I was like, yeah, no, I'll figure it out myself. You were expecting a company? I wasn't expecting a company. I was expecting a group. I didn't expect our manager to literally do everything for me, like from the start. I just wanted somebody who I could like, if I had a question moving into the VTube space, I could ask them and they would like give me some advice or at least point me in the right direction. I think that's somewhat reasonable, right? Because I was completely new to the VTubing space as a content creator when I joined LCN. And so I was thinking, oh, like with this group and with this person who says that they're my manager, maybe they'll help me, like, you know, how should I conduct myself on social media? Because I've never had a social media prior to LCN. How should I advertise myself? Do you have any advice on people I could talk to for like artists? Even if like, you know, they didn't have an answer, I would have liked to be able to ask these questions. But in the end, like I was the one that had to figure everything out on my own, while at the same time trying to drive everybody so that we all knew what was happening at the same time. Yeah, no, it was. I remember Ren and I had a talk about this, and he literally called me LCN's mom in one of our conversations. He did say he was grateful that I did what I ended up doing.
On January 24th, 2022, Aspen released a music cover of Shanti on his YouTube channel. Little did we know, however, that this would be the last we would ever hear of Aspen, as he would completely cease all activities following the music video. Over the course of 2022, Aspen would become more and more difficult to reach for even the other LCN talents, until he eventually completely disappeared, taking his stream VODs with him by deleting them all.
I would like to say that when I said he became more difficult to reach, that's a slight exaggeration in that we literally could not reach him at all once he went radio silent. And the only reason why I didn't say that is because he did show up sometimes that early. Yes, that early. Not even like a month has passed into 2023. I was gonna say 2022, and he was just out. To be fair, from the perspective of all the viewers of the other LCN talents, Aspen was the one that you guys probably didn't interact with at all, if at all. Yeah, no, he was gone super early on. The thing is, though, his presence didn't completely disappear as abruptly as I said it did, because he started deleting his stuff over time. he drops this cover, he stops streaming. Like a month later, you notice that his like Twitter account, like on Discord, his profile picture just became just a black square or a black circle. Like a couple months later, his videos were deleted. It was like very slowly, he just started like deleting his own existence from the internet. And I didn't even notice this until literally like June or July of 2022. Not that I didn't notice that he stopped streaming. I noticed that like pretty much instantly because I was trying to talk to him and stuff. A scheduled experience, yeah. But he was definitely the one that, I mean, this is all in chronological order of like who started disappearing in what order, because it made the most sense in my head to do it that way, because, you know, I'm still here and it'd be weird to talk about myself like first or second. So, but yeah, no, he was gone really early on. But when we were talking in the Discord, like us four, Ren and I would joke around a lot that if any of us were to take off, like actually like take off as a VTuber, like grow a big community, maybe not like hit like the big point where like you have 1,000 viewers on average, but even like 100 is huge. We thought that he would reach that point pretty quickly, but he was also the first to go, which was really unfortunate.
Ren's last stream occurred on May 23rd, 2022, and while he did continue to appear in other streams,
wait, I didn't see that. Wait, what the fudge?
Stream occurred on May 23rd, 2022.
Ah, so there was a second one. I actually did not see this one beforehand. That's kind of toxic, not gonna lie.
The Laku Nation managers weren't very hands-on by policy, and while they did try to stick around and help whenever they could, they too ceased all activities after a few months into the year of 2022.
They really did try. I can give them a lot of crap about communication because they definitely weren't super there all the time. And when I tried to like gather them, like we had a lot of problems with time zones, like the time zones and stuff. It wasn't all their fault. I'm not like, the time zone was like a big issue. They did try their best. Help even made and rigged her own model, and she was planning on using it to talk about LCN from like a third person perspective, if that makes sense. Kind of like if you know Hololive, there's Achan, a Eugene. That was kind of, I think, her idea behind that, because she did have her own model. It was really pretty too, by the way. I really liked her model quite a bit. She just never got to use it, and I don't know how it happened or when it happened, but eventually they just stopped responding altogether. Like I don't even have a date for this, which is why I don't mention this, but like at some point they just stopped talking at like period, and I have no idea what happened to them. I hope that they're okay and that they're still, you know, doing stuff.
End of the Laku Nation VTuber project.
Oh yeah, by the way, if you're curious about the sniffle at the end, the reason why that's there is because as soon as I was done recording everything, I immediately just made this big sniff as I was ending the recording. And that was like the last sound that was in like that MP3 file, or MP4, I'm sorry. Actually, I don't know, it was MP4 file, yeah. And we just decided to throw it in just for laughs and giggles. And I don't think it was very funny, but you guys can probably be a better judge of that than I can. By the way, you're never gonna get the context for this picture, ever.